कैसे हो सब लोग? Today we will talk about the reproduction. How do organisms reproduce? Living organisms, how do they reproduce? Already living organism is there, and how do they reproduce of their own kind or like themselves? Okay, let's see reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is the ability of living organism to produce living beings similar to themselves. That means a living organism will reproduce a new organism which is similar to itself. Okay. The two modes of reproduction we can see, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Importance of variation. Importance of variation in reproduction. What is the importance of variation? Sexual reproduction provide a great scope for the variation. Here sexual reproduction provide a great variation. That means we can see different types of morphologically and physiologically advantage species, that is due to the sexual reproduction. Variation is important for the survival of the species. Yes, survival of the species, variation is most important. If a species want to survive, then it has to produce a various of offspring, and that variation that will be exist for the many years. Okay. Next, variation helps a species to adapt in different environmental changes. Not only the variations gives to survival of its species, but it has a chances to adapt in the adverse conditions. Adapt in the adverse conditions. Okay, now we will see the difference between reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Let's see. It involves the formation of special reproductive cells called gamete. In sexual reproduction, fusion of gamete takes place. That means male gamete and female gamete is required for the sexual reproduction, or fusion of male and female gametes are required for the formation of zygote or formation of new organisms. Okay, male and female gametes fuse to form zygote. This zygote further develop into a embryo or offspring, or we can say individual. Okay, we will see asexual reproduction. It does not involve any formation of gamete. That means male gamete and female gametes are not needed in the asexual reproduction. Only single parent is enough to reproduce a offspring. Okay. New organisms are formed either by division of parent body. Okay, new organism, I told you, only single parent is enough to reproduce a new organism in the mode of asexual reproduction. That means what? In the process of division of their body will be divided, and form each divisions can form into a new individuals. Otherwise, by the differentiation of their parent body, differentiation means what? Divides. That will be separate. The body will be separate, and each separate one can develop into a new individual. Okay. Next we will see the modes of asexual reproduction. What are the modes of asexual reproduction? Plants and animals from lower classes reproduce by the asexual reproduction. Plants and animals and plants, basically small or unicellular organisms they reproduce through the asexual reproduction. And that means what? Most of unicellular organisms reproduce through the asexual reproduction. We will see the different types of asexual reproduction, that is binary fusion. Binary fusion means what? The body divide into two parts. The parent body divide into two parts are called binary fusions. You can see example has given here amoeba. Here the example of a amoeba has been given, that is reproduced through the binary fusion. Okay, amoeba, it is one example. You can see most common method in unicellular organism, it is division of a parent cell into two identical daughter organisms. You see parent cell, this is the parent cell of amoeba. First of all, the nucleus will be divided. This is the nucleus dividing. Next, the nucleus divide after cytoplasm also divides. Whenever cytoplasm is divided, then each part of the amoeba that can develop into a new amoeba or new organism. You can see this is one amoeba and this is one amoeba. So these are called offspring, or we can say daughter cell. Offspring, or we can say daughter cell. Example, we can see amoeba, paramecium, bacteria. These are the organisms, they reproduce through the process of binary fusion. Next, multiple fusion. This is also one type of fusion which is included in asexual reproduction. You can see this is the plasmodium. This is the plasmodium organism. This plasmodium organism reproduce through the multiple fusion of their body. You see parent cell divides to produce many identical of new individual. That means one plasmodium that immediately they can reproduce multiple. Okay, example we can see plasmodium, vivax, leishmania. These are the some examples that they reproduce through the multiple fusions. Next we will move forward about the fragmentation. Okay, we will see fragmentation. Adult organism on the maturation break up to a smaller fragment. Each fragment develop into a new individual. Example we will see in the Spirogyra. Spirogyra, what it does, it will break down its body into many pieces. You can see this is one Spirogyra. This Spirogyra, this is broken its body. You see 1, 2, 3 parts, and each part of this Spirogyra can develop into a new Spirogyra. You can see this one new Spirogyra, this one new Spirogyra, this one can develop into a new Spirogyra. Okay, next we will talk about the budding. A small growth out called a bud rise from the parent body. Okay, in the budding process, a small growth out, you can see this is example of a hydra. This hydra forms a small bud. This is the hydra. This hydra forms a small bud. Whenever this bud will mature and find a favorable condition, then this small bud will mature. After it will detach from the mother hydra detached and lives a individual life. That means after mature, the daughter hydra don't want to stay with mother. That's why it will detach, it will separate from the mother hydra and survive a independent life. Okay, the bud grows by repeated repeated divisions, and it then breaks off from the parent body, which is break up from the parent body and develop into a new individuals. Okay, in the budding process, we will see the examples of organisms like hydra, sponge, corolla, and yeast. These are the some of the organisms they reproduce through the process of budding. Next, we will see about the regeneration. We will see the regeneration, how by the regeneration organisms are reproduced. You can see regeneration. This is the planaria. This is the example of planaria. Regeneration is the ability of organism to generate lost or damaged body parts. Okay. Regeneration is a process in which organisms reproduce a new organisms which has been lost their body parts or generate their body parts. Okay. Regeneration is carried out by specialized cell. This is very, very important. When a specialized cell, or we can say what is regenerating cell is present. Regenerating cell is present, then only cell is present, then only a organism can reproduce through the process of regeneration. Okay. These forms a mass of cells which undergoes changes of cells specialized in different functions. Okay, you can see this is the planaria. Whenever it is cut out the head part and the trunk part and the tail part, you can see this is the one head of the planaria, trunk of the planaria, and tail of the planaria. So each part of the planaria can develop into, this is you can see rapidly division of specialized cell. This is forming a new offspring, which is became the new offspring or new organisms. This is another, this is the head part, and this is the trunk part developed, and this is the tail part. This is developed into a new planaria or new organisms. If planaria cut into a small pieces, then each piece develop into a new planaria. That you can see here how I explained this. Each cut part of the planaria can develop into a new individuals. We can see the regeneration process, that is lizard tail. Lizard tail will develop. Lizard tail only develop. Remaining parts may not develop. Lizard tail, you can see lizard tail has broken. After few days it will be grown. Okay, and starfish and planaria and hydra also reproduce through the regeneration process. Next, moving forward, spore formation. Spore formation. Spores are specialized structure produced in sac called sporangia. This is, you can see spores, it is producing spores. The rhizoids which is started from the rhizobium, rhizoids which started from the rhizobium bacteria, rhizopus, and it is what is called stolon, and the spores bearing what is sporangium, sporangiospores. This is the sporangiospores, and in the sporangial struct there will be sporangium is present where spore is produced. Okay, when spores are mature, sporangia burst. This sporangium, you can see the sporangium will burst. After burst, the spore carried by air or water in the different places. Of course, whenever the spore will fuse or that is breast, that will be carried one place to another place, and where there is a favorable weather and favorable conditions or moist place it found, it will germinate into a new, what is new organism or new rhizopause. We can say this is what is rhizopause organisms. Okay, and we can see also moss will develop, form, and fungi also develop through the spores. When spores fall on the suitable ground, they germinate and give rise to a new plants. Okay, give rise to a new plants. That means after burst, the spores they flew away through the air or water and placed on a suitable place, and they will germinate into a new organisms. Okay, example we saw that moss, form, and fungi. Next, talking about the vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, that means the process of organisms reproduce through the formation of different part of the plant's body, like stem, roots, and leaves. We can see several plants are capable of producing naturally through their roots, stems, and leaves. Such type of reproduction called as vegetative propagation. Okay, each plant reproduce through the stem, leaves, and roots. They are called as vegetative propagation. We can see sweet potato by roots they will reproduce, bryophyllums by the leaves, ginger by the stems. So this is all about the asexual reproduction. Okay, next moving forward. Moving forward, different methods used by the plant which develop plants which bear fruits and flowers by vegetative propagation. So different methods also we can see the plant will grow through the vegetative propagation, like stem cutting. If we cut a stem, for example, this is the plant, and this plant stem, if you cut now, this stem can develop into a new plant. Okay, so that is what cutting of stem. This involves cutting a part of the stem and planting it in the soil, allow the growth of roots and buds into shoots. Okay. Next example you can see stem cutting process, sugarcane, pear, and China rose. These are the some examples that their stem, if you cut and put in the soil, that will be developed into a new organisms. Okay. Next, grafting. In grafting, the stem or bud of two best quality plants is combined to form a new plant. Two best quality, one plant, two best quality, there will be grafting, and that two plants or best quality of what is we can say best quality parts of the stem or bud, that will be grafting, and that will be developed into a new plant. Example you can see guava, apples, mango, etc. Nowadays you can see what is 360 days mango, apple, guavas are available in the market. That means what every times they are producing, all the times these fruits are available because of grafting. That means new what is we can say new fruits and new organisms are developing daily. That is why it is possible. Okay. Next, layering method. In this method, the lower branch of the plant is bent and covered with the soil. Once new roots start forming or developing on the branch, it cut out from the parent plant and allowed to grow as an individual plant, example rose plant, jasmine plant. So in this process what has to be done, suppose this is the jasmine plant, this jasmine plant stem has to touch the ground, and whenever this stem touch the ground, of course their formation starts root, or roots formation starts. Whenever once the root formation starts, then what happen, we have to cut the stem. If you cut the stem, there will be development of new stem and root leaves, and it is became new offspring, or what is you can say new organism, offspring will develop. Okay. Next, tissue culture, very important point. Tissue culture. In the cells from the growing tip of a plant are repeated and grown on a nutrient medium. What is nutrient medium? Contains nutritions. What are the nutritions? Like all type of light will be there, and glucose will be there, and what is glucose, light, and different nutrients are present. That is called nutrient medium. In that nutrient medium contain all nutrients and hormones also present in the nutrient medium for the necessary plant growth. Okay, so this is called what is tissue culture. Okay, these are cells mass called callus. Okay, so this is what, this is a support, this is the nutrient medium. In this nutrient medium, what is cells are being injected here. Whenever these cells are became grown, then it will grow into a small plants, and they are called mass, or we can say callus we can say. Next, the callus develop into plantlets. They develop into small plantlets. These plantlets are transferred to the soil and grow a new individual. So these small plantlets, they will transfer to the soil and they will grow into a new individuals. Next, advantages of reproduction, vegetative reproduction, or advantage of vegetative reproduction, we will see. See advantages and disadvantages of vegetative reproduction. You can see new plants show the exact characteristics. That means there is no different characters of a new plant. Those of the parent, same to same, parent and children, they look like same to same. That is called exact characteristics. Next, this method is faster. Vegetative reproduction method is very fast and certain. Yes, this is true. Okay. Next, plants not capable of producing sexually can reproduce by this method. Those plants not able to reproduce through this sexually, they can follow this method or they can reproduce through this method, that is vegetative reproduction method. Next example we can see seedless bananas and grapes. Seedless bananas, grapes, they do not bear any gamete, no. They can reproduce through this vegetative propagation. Next, talking about the disadvantages of vegetative propagation. Vegetative reproduction, disadvantage. What are the some disadvantage of vegetative reproduction? There is no possibility of variation, differentiation you cannot find in the vegetative propagation. Same to same as the parent and the children identical. Okay. Next, the new plant grows in the same area as the parent plant, which leads to competition for the resources. Okay, for example, in a area there are some vegetative propagated plants, and these plants they will compete for their nutrient, for their biotic and abiotic component, they will compete. These two are the disadvantages of vegetative reproduction. Okay, next we will talk, in the next video we will talk about the sexual reproduction. Okay.